Thank you so much for joining us today. This is our second panel discussion hosted by Volusia County Government. I'm Kevin Captain, Interim Community Information Director for the County of Volusia, and your moderator for today's panel. So basically, now we know a lot of people are hurting and struggling. And while there's help out there, finding it isn't always easy. The goal of these panel discussions is to provide you, our residents, with information and resources to help you and our community get through this crisis. Last week, we discussed assistance for small business. Today, we're coming to you live from the Emergency Operations Center for a discussion about the assistance that's available to individuals and families that have been negatively impacted by the COVID crisis. And thank you to our distinguished panel for participating today. We're looking forward to a really good discussion and lots of helpful information to the public. With us today are Donna Butler, Director of Community Services for Volusia County Government, Robin King, President and CEO of Career Source Flagler Volusia, Courtney Edgecombe, President of the United Way Volusia Flagler Counties, and Buck James, Executive Director of Halifax Urban Ministries. Again, thank you for being here today. As we've repeatedly said, this is an absolutely unprecedented event that we're going through. In addition to the health impacts, this pandemic is also having significant financial impacts. While there's a lot of help out there, we realize that the information can be overwhelming and it can be confusing not knowing where to turn. Hopefully, we're going to be able to cut through that confusion today and answer some of the questions for you. So to our online audience, following on Facebook, we'll have questions that you can submit, and from there we'll route them to the appropriate panelists. But if you have a question of a more general nature, also please feel free to put that into the script as well. At the end, we'll pick out a few questions for the panel, and we'll go ahead from there. So let's kick things off. Courtney, we'll start with you. The 211 helpline that the United Way operates is a great resource for people in business. For those who aren't familiar with it, can you explain what the 211 helpline is and what kind of assistance might be available?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you so much for having me today. 211 is United Way's free first call for help, and it's our opportunity to share resources and information with anyone in the community. From your cell phone, from your home phone, you can call 211 and be connected to a case manager who will actually give you direction for different information or referrals to resources that are available. A lot of individuals will call for rent or mortgage assistance, utilities assistance, food, childcare, any of those things. We are able to help direct you to the right resources. Additionally, you can go online to 211live.org to find that same information and do the search yourself, or text. So there's a lot of different ways there that we can get you connected to the resources that are available.
Great, many different ways. Thank you for that. So, Don, can you tell us a little bit about the county's rental assistance? How much assistance is available, who can get it, and how to apply for it, and what those eligibility requirements might be? We know that this is really important information that residents need help with.
Sure. Good morning, and thank you for having me too. So the County of Volusia Community Assistance Division has two different programs. One is an emergency rental assistance program, and that is for both rent and utilities. It's a maximum of $2,000, but it's a one-time assistance. In addition, we have a rental assistance program that's up to 3 months for $1,500 a month, depending on the amount of rent or mortgage that's owed. In both cases, you have to be negatively impacted by the COVID disaster. So you have to have lost employment or have reduced employment, reduced income into your household. For the first program, the way to start the assistance process is to call 386-239-7757. You can make a phone appointment, so you do not need to come into an office. Everything is done over the phone and online. So that's the first way that you can receive assistance. The second way for the longer term assistance is actually to apply online. It's at volusia.org/C19RA. And you'll go on there, and it's an online portal, and you can enter your information in there and They'll start the process. You'll upload documents. You don't, again, have to come in. Everything will be done online and over the phone.
Great information, and also to reemphasize, it's a secure portal. So for anybody putting up their information that might be concerned with their privacy, it's a secured portal to upload those documents.
Correct.
Excellent. So this one goes out to Robin. Robin, what services are available to those who have been permanently laid off? And what can CareerSource do to connect people with those services?
Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for bringing this panel together to get relevant information out to our citizens. A dislocated worker is someone who has lost their job through no fault of their own, whether that's due to COVID or other circumstances today. And there's a wide variety of services available depending on what that person wants to do. So if they want to just turn around and get another job, then we can help either brush off their resume and help them with interviewing skills, that type of thing. We have a lot of businesses who are still hiring, and so we can make those connections with them. Excuse me. If someone wants to take this time and use it as an opportunity maybe to create, to gain more marketable skills, we put people through training, and by that I mean we have contracts with over 20 different training providers, Daytona State College being the one that's used the most, and then we pay tuition and the wraparound services for someone to go back to school. So we have scholarships up to $700-800 for short-term workforce training. The training that we would sponsor would be in demand in our local area and pay a higher wage. So it really depends on the person. If someone comes in and they say they want to do that, and when I say come in today, they physically can virtually come in through our chat function, or they can call 323-7001, and we have assessments. So we can email someone an assessment, and based on that assessment, on what they like, what they don't like, and what they're good at, might help take some blinders off for someone that choosing a career they had never considered before, right? And then helping them with the school. So the schools today aren't open either, but they are providing classroom training remotely. And I know that Daytona State College specifically is looking at how they can have their labs open using the physical distancing and all the rules that we have in place today. But it's an opportunity for our dislocated workers to find a new career pathway.
So you're really serving as a conduit for people too, to help them reinvent themselves for new employment.
Exactly.
And something specific that matches to what our community needs for employment. So that's great.
Right.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Robin. So Buck, we know that people are struggling with basic necessities such as putting food on the table. So for those in need, where can they find those resources?
Yes, Kevin, even in the midst of this COVID crisis, there are a lot of food resources still available in our community. For instance, hot meal programs. In Daytona Beach at the Bridge of Hope, every day, 7 days a week, we serve lunch between 11:30 and 1. And in New Smyrna Beach, there's 2 locations. At First United Methodist Church at 310 Douglas Street, they serve lunches on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11:30 and 12:45. And they serve dinner on Saturday and Sunday between 4 and 5. Also in New Smyrna Beach at the Shriners Club at 1111 South Orange Street, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they serve lunch. And the Council of Aging is continuing to provide Meals on Wheels, and they're actually beginning to partner with local restaurants to provide those meals. And so that's a really great service. If you're interested in that service, you have to be 60 years of age or older. You can call 386-253-4700, and that's extension 216. That's 386-253-4700, extension 216. I also want to highlight what Volusia County Schools is doing through their Schoolway Cafe. They are distributing food to children 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The Monday distribution is for Monday and Tuesday meals. The Wednesday distribution is for Wednesday and Thursday, and the Friday distribution is for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I suggest that if you're interested in getting those meals for your children, that you go to the Volusia County Schools website and look up the program, and they have a list of all the locations, all the schools and other school bus drop-off locations where they're dropping off those meals. And finally, for food pantries, there are some food pantries that have shut down during the COVID crisis, but there are many that are continuing to distribute food. What I would suggest is the best source for those is the Second Harvest Food Finder. If you go to the web and you search for Second Harvest Food Finder, you'll find a website. They're doing a really good job of keeping up to date with what pantries are still open and what their hours are. But keep in mind that that is not a comprehensive list because it only reflects the agencies that are working with Second Harvest. There are many smaller churches and other community organizations who do not work through Second Harvest. So you should also look at the excellent list on 211live.org. They're a great resource for folks in Volusia County and Flagler County as well, by the way. And it's a great place to look for other resources for pantries. But I really encourage you, before you go to a pantry, call the phone number, make sure the hours of operation are still accurate, make sure that you know what documentation might be required when you show up at the pantry. So always call first before you show up. But there are many resources still available in our community.
That's great, Buck. Thank you so much. And again, to reiterate that 211 live number, and for those in need, that there is a such thing as a free lunch. Definitely.
That's right.
Quick question, Buck. Do you, if for the services that we have available today and the services that we're going to have available post the health crisis, is there a way that we can partner with those food pantries, that we can put some of our collateral materials in the food packages and whatnot, and so that we can help spread the word as to what services some of our families would be available?
Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful idea. I know that Halifax Urban Ministries would love to partner with you, and I think the other pantries would as well. Jewish Federation, some of the other pantries would love to partner with you. The Neighborhood Center. There's many other smaller ones as well, but you could certainly start with Halifax Urban Ministries. We'd love to partner with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also, on the west side of the county, the Neighborhood Center of Deland is doing a great job. They have a drive-through food bag pickup as well, and that happens multiple days a week. You can call their phone number. It's online, and it's also on the 211 Live website to get information for that. And I just saw today posted that several other groups in Deltona are also planning on providing food bags. One is the Hope Fellowship Group, and the other is actually a doctor's office that's going to provide up to 100 bags on their
Excellent.
particular day. So there are resources county-wide to receive food bags. Just go on to 211 Live and other places to try and find out where they are.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Thank you, Robin, and thank you, Donna. So back to you, Courtney. Now that we've already talked and reiterated about 211, the 211 helpline, what other resources are available through the United Way to help our residents?
Yeah, so through the United Way, we also operate the VITA program, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, every year. And clearly our sites were shut down due to COVID-19, but we do operate a website called myfreetaxes.com. So now that the tax deadline has been extended until the middle of July, you are able to go to myfreetaxes.com to submit your tax information as well. And that is a really great resource in order for individuals to use that. Additionally, if you need some help getting your kids active or have some questions maybe about their development, we have our Help Me Grow team that's available to answer phone calls as well. If you call 211, then you can get routed to work with our Help Me Grow team and find out more about developmental screenings, what would be age appropriate, how you can engage with your kids during this time. So it's another great resource. And then finally, our United Way is working to convene our partners. And earlier this week, we had a meeting with our 17 local agencies that we work with on an annual basis and found out a lot about what their needs are. Many of them have talked about how fundraising events have been canceled and are worried about that, the influx of individuals who are coming to them looking for resources. And so we've compiled kind of a list of that and volunteer opportunities, and we're working to get that information out to the public as well. So there's 211, always the best option to get back to that, but then there are some other resources available for the community.
Great. Thank you so much, Courtney. Again, 211. So in addition to rental assistance, Donna, can you tell us what other financial assistance is available through the county?
So it's primarily utility assistance through state funds called LIHEAP and EHEAP. We're able to help folks that have utility bills that they have not been able to pay. So if they're current, we can assist them, but if they're behind, we can. And so through the guidelines under COVID, we can now help them. The max that we can help with rental assistance is $600, depending on their income level and so forth. But combined with rent, we can go up to $2,000. And some of that is paid, it is always paid directly to the utility company, but we can pay that on their behalf to hopefully catch them up on their utility bill, but also sometimes provide a credit to them for future months. So it's a great program. Same information though. Call 386-239-7757 for an appointment, and a counselor will be able to help you.
Excellent. Certainly nobody wants to have the utilities shut off during this crisis, but wonderful to know that the county has that capability to provide that resource. Thank you, Donna. All right, Robin, can you tell us a little bit about what reemployment assistance that CareerSource can offer?
So the state of Florida does not have any unemployment offices. They haven't for a number of years. So the CareerSource system across the state plays a supportive role in helping individuals get connected into the reemployment assistance program, which is what the state of Florida calls its unemployment assistance program. We've been putting paper applications out in front of our centers with self-addressed stamped envelopes so that people can buy and pick those up. They're out there 24/7. After last night's rain, I'm glad that we have overhangs on all over them so that those weren't destroyed. And we replenish those daily. And then the state of Florida's Department of Economic Opportunity came out with a mobile-friendly way of applying now. So someone who has never been in the unemployment system at all can use this layover that was created that can get people in faster, which is good news for those who applied for after April. We do know that there is a group, and Donna, I don't know if this would be something that you guys could consider. There was a group that applied for assistance the last 2 weeks of March who are kind of stuck in a holding pattern because they were not able to have their cases authenticated by the Social Security Administration timely because everybody across the country has to use the Social Security Administration to authenticate Social Security numbers and the wages earned. Social Security Administration's servers were just as unprepared as everybody else's systems. And so there is a group that we're really starting to see that their rents are due, their mortgages are due, there is crisis for them because it has been more than a month and they're still in a pending holding status. We've been taking the cases that we're aware of and giving those to DEO saying, because I think there's some manual workarounds that they have to do. And so we can answer basic questions and helping with some PIN resets and some other things. But when it comes to the actual approving of eligibility, there's only one group of people in the state of Florida that can do that. And so there's more payments are happening. They being DEO created a dashboard. The first day that was up, it said that 6.4% of who had applied actually got payments. The next day that went up to 15%. The next day, so there's movement. It's just a lot of patience is required in waiting for those.
Sure.
And we're absolutely happy to help. You can refer them if they call you to our sites,
Okay.
to the phone number that we're given, and as well as the web portal to apply for the longer term assistance. And I may not have been clear, but people are eligible for both. So if they've applied for the 3 months, it is taking us a while to go through the applications. We've received well over 400 or 500 applications at this point. We're going through the process of making sure all the information is there, and we're calling people back to provide other information, documentation that's needed. But while they're waiting, they can easily get the emergency assistance as well. So they get the first month taken care of, and then they would potentially have 3 months after that. So potentially folks could have 4 months of assistance with their rent, mortgage.
So the conversation that's been happening in Tallahassee is today, when you apply for reemployment assistance, it goes effective the day you apply and it's accepted. There's conversation about making it retroactive to when you actually lost your job. So that's kind of part of the problem, right? That you get it and now it doesn't back pay you. The good news is that anyone who's applying for the state's RA, which the max is $275 a week for 12 weeks, the CARES Act adds another $600 per week to that. So once they do get in, it will be a good benefit. And then for those who are self-employed, who are 1099ers, gig workers, the state is still working on an application so that they can also access that $600 a week from the CARES Act. So that'll be coming soon.
Excellent. That's great information, and great to know that you can kind of overlap the benefits as well, too, if you're eligible. And again, too, the key thing that you represented, Robin, is patience, because the processing of the applications are all taking some time, and so we need everybody to have a little patience with it, too.
Well, and I'll tell you that we get more calls today than we've ever gotten. We have phone banks.
Sure.
And the fact that there's somebody there, whether it's a 211 or at your place or at our place or anyone, and that somebody picks up the phone and responds. I mean, I had some calls earlier this week, could not answer the questions. And what I could answer, what to me didn't seem very significant, but they were just delighted to be able to talk to somebody. And that is that human connection we cannot lose during this distancing period.
Absolutely. That's certainly irreplaceable. So even though the county offers housing and utilities assistance, we know that the need is great in our community. Buck, are there other sources of housing and utilities assistance out there?
Yes, Kevin, there are. In addition to what the county does offer, there are other agencies in their area that provide rental and utility assistance. Right now, Halifax Urban Ministries has already expended our funding, but both Salvation Army and the Neighborhood Center still have funding. So if you need help in East Volusia with FP&L or TCO payments, contact the Salvation Army at 386-236-2020. That's 386-236-2020. And the Neighborhood Center has funding for both rental and utility assistance. You can call them at 386-734-8120. That's 386-734-8120. And just a reminder not to forget to reach out to your neighborhood churches as well. Many of our local churches have funds to help folks that are going through tough times. So make sure to reach out to them as well. And remember, it's always better to find a way to stay in your current home. Do everything possible to avoid an eviction. And so do everything, reach out to every resource you can to try to make things work. Figure out ways that you can cut your budget, anything you can do to stay in that home to get through this period, because things are going to get better. But if you find yourself homeless, there are resources. Halifax Urban Ministries provides emergency shelter and transitional housing to families with children and to youth. Salvation Army and Halifax Urban Ministries provide housing to homeless veterans, and the Neighborhood Center provides emergency housing and transitional housing to individuals and families with children. There are resources to help.
Thank you so much, Buck. That's very reassuring.
Buck, do you guys use that Nextdoor app at all?
No, we do not.
I've noticed that the city of Daytona Beach, for example, they've been posting out information that's available. It's I don't know if any of you have used this. They've added a new feature to it where I can volunteer in there and say, I'm willing to go pick up groceries or do something for my neighborhood. And so when someone brings it up, this map shows who's available for that kind of thing. But I've just seen more of the information officers putting out information in that platform. And it's just another way to get the word out.
I'm going to check it out right after this meeting.
Awesome. Thanks.
Me too.
I've heard about that, too. My wife has that app on her phone. And
Actually, as I'm thinking
it's
this,
great.
I'm like, we should do that too. I hadn't thought of it.
Definitely. All right. So as we know, Courtney, there are a lot of needs in the community right now. In addition to the resources that are being provided through governmental and community organizations, we're also seeing a lot of wonderful examples of people helping each other, neighbors helping neighbors. Robin's great example of using the Nextdoor app is certainly germane here. So for those that are in a position to help, what are some other ways that they can support the community at this time?
Yeah, definitely. So at United Way, we focus on three main areas, and those are to give, advocate, and volunteer. You can give to our COVID Relief Fund if you so choose, or to one of the partner agencies or the organizations that were mentioned today, because they're still going to need those dollars in order to do their mission. And right now, with more calls, with more requests being out there, they're going to need more resources to make that happen. However, if you'd like to give to the COVID Relief Fund that the United Way is operating, you can text virus 2020 all together to 41444. I know you guys have gotten a lot of numbers today, but I think this one is really helpful. And you can sign up to give. Any amount is helpful. We've collected over $100,000 in that fund already for Volusia and Flagler counties. We've distributed over $42,000 of that to 14 local agencies focused on childcare and food assistance programs already. Our next set of funding, the proposals will go out next week to our agencies to apply. You do not have to be a current United Way partner to receive that funding either. So I think that's another great resource that we're trying to get these dollars as quickly as possible into the community so that they can serve individuals. But for anybody who's in the community that has the ability to give would be the number one thing. The next thing is to advocate. I'm sure that you know somebody or are aware of someone who is in need of services. Tell them about 211. Let them know about the different resources that the county has or that some of our partners are working on. That is one of the best ways for you to pass hope along to others. And then finally, to volunteer. I know right now it doesn't look the way that it has in the past, where we can all join together and put our collective physical effort. However, there are a lot of other things that you can do. Meals on Wheels, for example, are looking for volunteer drivers. They need people to take meals and drop them off at doorsteps for seniors that are in need. That would be a wonderful project for a family to do, or even somebody who might be displaced at this time to take on one of those projects. So we'll continue to update our resources on our website at unitedwayvfc.org so that you can find that information. But again, we ask that you give, advocate, and volunteer if you're able.
Those are the wonderful examples. Can you repeat, Courtney, that text address if
Yes.
those are interested in giving?
It's virus 2020, capital V, to 41444. Or you can go to our website and click on the big red donate button, and it'll take you right to the page.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. So let's go back to you, Donna. For someone who's applying for one of the county's assistance programs, what are some of the items that your staff will need from applicants in order to determine whether or not they meet the eligibility requirements?
Sure. So first of all, you have to be a Volusia County resident. So you have to show proof that you actually live here, and that's usually done through a lease or a mortgage or possibly a tax roll statement. And then if you're applying for utility assistance, you have to show that you are in arrears with your utility bill. If you are in arrears for your rent or mortgage, you also have to supply that information. And that's for the emergency assistance. On the other side, you would need to be current on the bigger 3-month, you have to be current with your rent, but you would show again the lease or mortgage, and that would be the information to determine part of your eligibility. Your income has to be proven, so you'd have to have your employment pay stubs available to show that either you are still employed or a loss of employment. So you'd show a previous pay stub showing the amount that you made, and then one that obviously shows that you're no longer being paid. In some cases, you'd have to have a statement from your employer stating that you've been furloughed or that you have actually lost employment. And then some of the basic information that we always ask for, and sometimes this is challenging, especially in times like these where people are just extra stressed. We do have to have driver's license or other government identification. We have to have birth certificates and Social Security numbers for all those living in the household. And there's some other pieces of information like that that are required to get our assistance. But we'll keep calling and helping you get it and helping you figure out a way to transmit it to us. People are being really creative. They're taking pictures with their cell phones and sending it in that way. And we'll take it however we can get it. And it can be sent again through the online portal that is secure. So it's working. We're helping folks on a regular basis. But there is, but there is a lot of things that we do have to request in order to make the decision about whether someone's eligible.
That makes sense. You have to be able to authenticate. But going back to what Robin emphasized earlier, the county is helping these people that are in need, and it's a warm human voice that we're talking to, and we're trying to get you the help you need.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. All right. So Robin, what happens when the work registration and work search requirement waiver ends?
So if someone is temporarily laid off, they do not have those requirements. And today, those who are permanently laid off don't have those requirements.
Okay.
They're scheduled to end, those waivers are scheduled to end May 2nd. Excuse me. The pollen in the air. So that's what we do on a day-to-day basis normally, right? Is that we're helping individuals get work registered, which is in Employ Florida. And the work search piece of it, we have a number of online workshops that can accommodate the work search requirement. And so while there are a lot of businesses who are hiring, there are some industries that aren't yet. And until we get the results of the Reopen Florida Task Force, we're not going to know which ones will be opening soon. And so we have some workarounds that we'll be able to help individuals with. And so again, that main number, the 323-7001, is the number that someone can call when they have that question as to whether or not they have to continue or re-engage in that now. I have not gotten any information as to whether or not that's been extended. On our Facebook page and our social media, we're putting everything out as soon as we get it. So if that waiver is extended, we will definitely have that out on CareerSource FV's Facebook and on our website as well. We are keeping a running list of all resources that's available to individuals. So that's CareerSource FV, as in, FlaglerVolusia.com. And that's where we keep all the latest and greatest information we can find.
Excellent. CareerSourceFV.com.
Yes, thank you.
I'll definitely remember that. Buck, what about people who are suffering from financial impacts from the COVID-19 pandemic and can't afford to pay their prescriptions? We know that this has become another big problem, and is there help out there for that?
Yes, there is, Kevin. And let me start by saying that the best thing you can do for your health is to keep taking your prescribed prescriptions. And there are resources out there to help with that. The county and some local agencies do have some limited funding to help with prescriptions and other medical expenses. But there's also some other things out there. There's an app that you can download on your phone, or you can go to a website called GoodRx. And GoodRx will allow you to look up for prices for medications in your area. And in many cases, you'll find medications that you can find locally that are either free or very low cost. In many cases, that cost is going to be less than what it would have been with your health insurance and a copay. And so you need to look at that and see what the cost is, and you may be able to find an affordable place to pick up the medication that you need. Also, if you're low income or uninsured or underinsured, and you're being treated for a high cost with a high cost medication for a disease like cancer or HIV or something like that, there are foundations out there that you can find online by searching the website that will provide funding to help you with those costs when you get into a situation you can't fund that. So go out there, search the web, talk to your local pharmacist, other resources that can help you to identify those foundations that have funding to help you.
Excellent. Wonderful.
I would also add, Buck, that United Way has a partnership with FamilyWise free prescription discount cards, and it's an app as well. So when you download it, even if you have health insurance, a lot of times the pharmacies like Publix or some of the other ones that we work with will actually use that discount in place of your health insurance if it gives you a better deal. So I would also suggest that to anyone in the community who needs help with their medication.
Wonderful. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Buck. All right. So, well, at this time of the panel, those were some great questions and information that we're able to gather. And let's move to Kate here, who's been monitoring Facebook to see if there's any questions out there that we'd like to bring into the panel. Kate, is there anything you have for us?
Yes, so we received a lot of questions on Facebook regarding the stimulus checks and unemployment, which we know is handled by the state and federal government. However, today you all provided a lot of information about local resources that can still help those people who are in need. So can you just remind everyone and let them know where this information is available so that they can reference it?
Absolutely. Donna, you want to take that one?
Sure. So we've got a couple of locations for the county. First of all, to make an appointment for emergency client assistance, they need to call the phone number 386-239-2787. 7757, or for longer-term assistance that would last up to 3 months, you need to apply online at volusia.org/C19RA. So those are the two places that you can go to for county assistance to help you get by while you might be waiting for that stimulus check to come in.
And this might just be a good time also on that question too, Kate, is if we could just go to each panelist, and if you could repeat your website address and the telephone number again for those listening.
For any resources with local community support, like food, childcare, rent or mortgage, utilities assistance, it's 211 or 211live.org. And we're keeping a bank of resources also specific to COVID-19 on our UnitedWayVFC.org website.
Great.
So our main line is 386-323-7001. If you prefer to email, that's info@careersourcefv.com. And our website is careersourcefv.com.
Great.
To locate sources of food pantries, I would search for the Second Harvest Food Finder. The phone number for Halifax Urban Ministries is 386-317-5886. The phone number for Salvation Army is 386-236-2020. The phone number for Neighborhood Center is 386-734-8120.
Of course, all you really need to remember is 211, because all of our information is in 211.
That's definitely the takeaway from this morning's panel is 211. All right, and I might also add too that the volusia.org/coronavirus is our public information network site, and we've linked to many other public agencies, cities, municipalities, and other. You can basically get to anywhere from that main page. So that's another easy one, but probably not as easy as 211. Okay, Kate, do you have another question? Okay, that looks like that was the main question that was provided. So that's what we have for today, for this morning. So once again, I'd like to thank all the panelists for your participation, and more importantly, what you're doing, what your organizations are doing to help our community. For those of you that are following along online, we're going to do more of these panel discussions, and we're going to continue to bring more of the information that you need to help make decisions and to make sure that your health and welfare are a top priority. I know that we're all looking forward to a return to normal life, and for our residents and visitors and business community and our governmental institutions, we all want to do that just as soon as possible. Together, we will all get through this. Thank you everyone for watching today. Please stay safe, and we'll be back again soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Stay connected with the latest Volusia County news, events, and updates on our social media channels. Like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Catch up with previous stories on YouTube, or just head over to our website, volusia.org.